Welcome back to another episode of Definitely Not Mechanics. This episode, not super exciting, but I did get a big surprise, and I'm probably just going to show it in the first 5 minutes. The rest of this is me going to be changing the starter on my grandma's car, because I'm a good grandson, and I do that kind of stuff. But behind me, I have this little surprise that I have recently acquired. Let's do the sequence where the title, and then we'll come back to that. I guess I could go ahead and unload it first. So this is a motor that I got for free. And by for free, I mean absolutely free. I just had to go pick it up. Let's pull this out of here and then we'll talk a little bit more about what it is and what the plans are for it. So when I picked this up, the guy was like, hey, I got this tarp. And I was like, cool, man. He goes, you can get these for $1 at Dollar Tree. And I was like, that's good information. So he gave me the tarp, I put it down. And I was like, we gonna need anything to pick up this motor? He goes, no, you can get it by yourself. And I was like, oh, all right. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. I picked it up by myself and I put it in here. And when I put it in here, he was like, hey, there's still oil in it. And I was like, oh, hell. Because like the timing cover's off and the head's off and there's still oil in the pan. So the first thing it did was spill. Luckily I had this sweet ass tarp that he gave me. It's a little kind of heavy, but I can do it, I promise. Yeah, let's see Zach do that with all his gym muscles. I have belly muscles. So in picking up this motor, I didn't know exactly what I was getting. This guy said that he had a free motor out of a 2000s Honda Civic. And I was like, it's free, I'm going to get it. Because worst case scenario, it's scrap metal or a cool coffee table, kind of. So I picked it up and Hondas actually have the VINs on the blocks on this particular year model. It's a 2007, I looked it up. 2007 Honda Civic, this is a R18A motor, if I'm not mistaken. We've got the block, pistons, everything in it. We've got an oil pan, we've got a head, we've got injectors, we've got valve cover, and we've got a timing cover. But it needs a water pump and a timing gear, and maybe some new head studs and a seal kit as well to be complete. Thing is, there's not a big aftermarket support for this motor. My intention was thinking that it was an early 2000s Civic motor that would be easier to find parts for, cheaper to find parts for, and we could actually take it, buy a transmission for pretty cheap, buy a dune buggy frame for pretty cheap, put them together, have something cool. This really isn't something that you can make cool like that. So if you guys know anybody that needs an 07, I think it's 06 to 11 is the span that this fits, let me know. Just like, buy a couple shirts and I'll ship it to you or something. So what you're looking at right here is my grandma's 2010 Hyundai Sonata. She's having a little bit of trouble, it's not starting. They put a battery on it, they had the alternator tested, and turns out it's the starter. It's just free spinning if you turn it all. All you hear is just the starter moving, but not up against anything. You don't hear gears grinding. So they went and picked up a starter and asked me to come over here and fix it. And I don't know how to work on Hyundais. So we're gonna watch a YouTube video and figure it out. Okay. So now we got that figured out. We still gotta find the starter. And there she lives. Good deal. We've taken the underpinning out from under the car. If you look straight up, right here. This is the front of the motor facing forward. Well, technically the side, but this is the front of the car here on this side. This is your starter. That beauty right there. You see there's a bolt. There's the foot of a bolt there. So that means that there's a head on the other side of that, which we can get to, doesn't look like we can get to without taking the motor mount off, honestly. May be able to get to it from the top if we move this coolant hose out of the way. Let's go take a look at the top and see what we can see from up there. So if we're looking straight through here, that's the bolt we need to be on that goes to the starter. And then on the other side of this flange off the transmission here is our other bolt. And I believe there are two up here. I think that's one right there, and then that's one right there. Oh, that came out pretty easy. That other guy was using a breaker bar in the video. This was not necessary. I mean, I understand I'm kind of a lady as far as strength goes, but still, you know? So I want to tell you this funny story. I was working on this car, my grandma's car, and she said that she needed brakes. So I was like, all right, check it out. I was like, yeah, you need some brakes. You need some rotors, you need some pads. We'll get you taken care of. So went and got the parts, and she hung out at my mom's house till I was done. I told her, hey, because I never test drove it before to know what it was doing. She said it was making like a squealing noise. I said, okay. So I said, come ride with me, come drive it, and tell me if it feels better now. She did the brakes on. Here's the thing. I completely forgot to pump up the brakes, or tell her to pump up the brakes. We get in the car, she's driving. She gets in, she puts her foot down on the brake pedal, turns the car on, it loses all pressure. By this time, she's already got it in reverse. The wheels cocked to the side, she's about to hit the trailer over here. She starts freaking out, grabs that e-brake, pulls it. She looks over at me, shaking, hand on chest, and I'm not kidding when I say this, she said, I think my pacemaker malfunctioned. I lost it, dude. I laughed so hard. We got it figured out. I think she was probably scared to drive her car for a little while after that, but she got over it. We got it out. Here she is, boys. The old starter-rooski. I'm sure something about that ain't right. Anyways, Ben, give me that new one. Let's compare. Looks the same to me. Good deal, Lucille. Put her back in, do some hood rat stuff. Got the starter all plugged in there. Gonna give her a test run, see how she goes. Here's my thing lever adapt here. There we go. Oh, battery's unplugged. This little battery back up here. Let's get that finger tight. That's all you really need there. Let's start this bad boy up. I think the battery might be a little dead. Okay, now we got the battery charger hooked up. We're gonna try this one more time. Huh, nothing at all. Weird. Oh man, you didn't tell me I had stuff all over my face. All right, so there it is. we got my grandma's Hyundai running again. Turns out it was just a starter. I'll have to thank my mom for diagnosing that for me. And picking up the starter, got this all fixed. I'm gonna go park this in my grandma's house. Remember kids, you always wanna help out your grandparents. Without them, you wouldn't be around. You need your grandparents, always help out family. I guess this is the end of the video. It was a good wholesome video. So while we're on the subject of family, we got all kinds of sizes of shirts, so you could get some for your family. You get some for yourself. You get a koozie, a sticker. If you order within the next 2 weeks, all the way through the end of this month, you can actually get a handwritten note from Zach, and it will have his signature on there. And if everything works out, I'll put a social on there too, and you guys can, you know, get a hold of him. Because I know he's the star of the show and everything. Everybody wants to talk to Zach. So anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Be sure to check out our merch. I know we plug it on every single video, but there's a reason for that. It helps out. We gotta buy parts all the time. Parts are expensive. We gotta help out our grandparents and just help us out. Support a local, what would you call this? A local YouTube channel, we'll just say that. Help us out. Bye. Haha, saved it. Almost just died.